بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم به نستعین. شاگردان عزیز السلام علیکم و رحمت الله و برکاته. امیدوارم که حال همه شما عزیزان خوب باشد. In the name of Almighty God, in previous session we discussed lesson 5. Today we start with lesson 6. So in pursuit of our previous session, we start with vocabulary today as usual. So here we have got a saying, a word to the wise is sufficient. Even we have this expression in our culture. We say that if you understand, so one word is enough to you. If you do not understand, even if I am expressing, for example, 100 words, so it may not actually make you understand. So we have got 12 words here as usual. So we start with the first one, which is approach. So approach actually conveys different meanings, but here the intended meaning is to come near or nearer to. So one of the meanings of approach is to come near. We can say Ahmad and Mahmoud approached each other. So this is one definition. But although in some other cases approach also means the way that we are actually dealing with something. So to come near or nearer can be used in these three examples. So here the lawyer in the trial were often asked to approach the bench. It means to come near the bench. Herbio kissed Sylvia when he approached her. So again, it is used in the same meaning. Ben approached the burden of getting a job with a new spirit. So again, so here probably if you see my cursor here, you have got a stress here, which shows that you have already studied the word burden. So coming to word number 2 here, so we have the word detect. Detect basically means to find out or discover. So if something is, for example, hidden or something that there is little information about it, so we are actually looking for that in order to find about it or to find out about it or discover. So that is the idea of detect. Some suspect detected that the important papers had vanished. So we have already studied the word vanished. So here detected means find out, or we can use, for example, the past form found out means to actually got information or getting information about something generally. So from her voice, it was easy to detect. It means it was easy to understand that Ellen was frightened. C. We detected from the messy room that a large group of people had assembled there. So assembled means to come together or to gather together. Now coming to number 3, defect. So defect means fault. Fault means which is something which is wrong, that which is wrong. So we can say my Chevrolet was sent back to the factory because of a steering defect. So defect means something wrong. So steering is basically that instrument which is used for controlling a particular car. And B, his theory of the formation of our world was filled with defects. So with lots of faults, with lots of, for example, things which are really wrong. In C, the villain was caught because his plan had many defects. So again here defect is used in the same meaning, fault or that something which is wrong. Number 4, we come to the word employee. It is very common. People are usually using it daily. A person who works for pay. So he is receiving money and then he is working. The employee went on strike for higher wages. So strike here means demonstration. My boss had to fire many employees when meat became scarce. So here also we have got the word fire. Fire here means basically to discharge somebody or to actually make somebody stop working. C. Joey wanted to go into business for himself and stop being an employee, right? Sometimes, for example, we are working for other people and we receive money, but sometimes we work for ourselves. Number 5, neglect. So neglect means give too little care or attention to. When we are paying too much attention, too much little attention to something, it means that we neglect that. It is very close to, for example, disregard something, or even we can say overlook something. When we do not pay attention to something, so it means that we disregard or we do not consider that. A. The senator neglected to make his annual report to Congress. So, of course, it was his task or responsibility, but he overlooked to provide his annual report. And then B, Bob's car got dirty when he neglected to keep it polished. Again, neglected means disregarded. C, it is essential that you do not neglect your homework. So neglect here means that it is not good to pay little attention or even no attention. So number six, we have got deceive. Deceive means make someone believe as true something that is false or mislead. So deceive is the idea that, for example, I am actually convincing you to accept something that I am saying initially that is not true. So deceive means gulza then. So when we are actually deceiving somebody, we would like to show something which is fake, we actually show that genuine or original. So that is the idea of deceive. So Atlas was deceived about the burden he had to carry. Right. So probably you have asked somebody to carry a burden to you or for you, then you paid some amount, but you actually were convincing that person that maybe this is light, this is not heavy. Then as a result, you deceived him. Then when he was carrying that particular burden, he realized that that was too heavy. B. Virginia cried when she learned that her best friends had deceived her. Right. Sometimes, for example, we think that Ahmad or Mahmoud is our closest friend, or we can say that our very sincere friend. Then later on, we realize that he has deceived us. Then we become very sad. C. The villain deceived Chief White Cloud by pretending to be his friend. Right. This is very common even in real situation or in real life situation. We usually observe some people that they pretend that they are our friends, but in reality, when we realize their intention and when we realize their purpose, when we realize their motivation and motive, so we realize that, oh, they have deceived us. Number seven, undoubtedly means certainly. So doubt, probably, if we look at the structure of undoubtedly, so we have many parts here: on, and then doubt, and then tet, and then or it, and then ly. So at least four parts. So doubtedly means that when you are actually dubious about something, right? When you are, for example, not sure or uncertain about something. And then undoubtedly also means that undoubtedly when you do not have any doubt. So on is used here actually to change the positive meaning into negative. So doubtedly when you have doubt or when you are suspicious about something or when you are dubious or when you are skeptical about something. But when you say undoubtedly means that you do not have any doubt. So it means certainly, surely, or beyond doubt. So A, Ray's team undoubtedly had the best debaters in our country. So debaters, those people who are actually debating, or they are, for example, talking or arguing about a particular stance, providing lots of reasons and logics when they are, for example, arguing. B. The pilgrims undoubtedly assembled to travel to Rome together. So pilgrims, those people who are actually meaning to go somewhere and visit some sacred places. C. If she didn't want to get into an argument, Valerie would have followed the majority undoubtedly. So here also undoubtedly means certainly. Number 8, but in case some words or words are not clear to you even within these examples, you have to actually look up their meanings in your dictionary. Number 8, popular. Popular means liked by most people. If a person is popular, for example, we can say Farhad Darya is a popular person, means that he is liked by most of the people, specifically Afghan people. So A, the Beatles wrote many popular songs, songs which are liked by most of the people. At one time, Mini skirts were very popular, and C, popular people often find it hard to evade their many friends. So we have already studied evade because it is asterisk, or it has got an asterisk mark there. So coming to number 9, this is pronounced thara. Thara is different from through. Through means by, but thara means completely, being all that is needed or complete. So the police made a thorough search for the house after the crime had been reported. So thorough here means completely and or complete. And then my science teacher praised Sandy for doing a thorough job of cleaning the lab. In C, mom decided to spend the day in giving the absent a thorough cleaning. Sorry, this is not absent. This is basement. So basement, that ground floor. So basement, we call it tahkawi. Basement, a thorough cleaning. Number 10, client. Person for whom a lawyer acts. Right. So client is a person that they are hiring lawyers, so lawyers are working for them. Or sometimes client also means customer. Customer is also, in some sense, is equivalent of the word client. So A, the lawyer told her client that she could predict the outcome of his trial. So trial here means sentencing, or mahkama here. So my uncle tried to get General Motor to be a client of his company. So a client of his company, either it means a customer or it means person for whom a lawyer acts or works. C, if this restaurant doesn't improve its service, all its clients will vanish. So clients here means customer. So vanish also means to disappear suddenly. Now coming to number 11, comprehensive. So comprehensive means including much. When something is comprehensive, it includes everything. For example, we can say we have got a very comprehensive grammar book. So it means that every grammatical tips are included in that particular book, covering completely. So after a comprehensive exam, it means that after a complete exam or an exam that included everything or an inclusive exam, my doctor said I was in good condition. So this exam means actually test or checking in the lab. So the engineer gave our house a thorough, comprehensive checkup before my father bought it. And next, Ms. Silver wanted us to do a comprehensive study of Edgar Allan Poe. So Edgar Allan Poe, it was a famous person who was working in the area of literature. Number 12, defraud. Defraud, take money, rights, etc. away by cheating. Right. So we have already elaborated on the word deceive. Deceive means that we are just pretending or convincing the person something that is fake as original or genuine one. But defraud, it means again we are like cheating. So the idea of defraud is also cheat. So cheat means take money, rights, or anything else or properties of a person away by cheating. Cheating means that we are also deceiving or saying something wrong in order to take, for example, money, rights, or any other things of the body away. So A, my aunt saved thousands of dollars by defrauding the government. So defrauding means cheating the government, saying something wrong and then convincing the government. If we could eliminate losses from people who defraud the government, tax rates could be lowered. And C, by defrauding his friend, Dexter ruined a family tradition of honesty. Right. So now here in this text, as usual, you will actually see how these 12 words that we have discussed so far are used in the context. So you particularly will know in terms of parts of a speech, I mean the function they do in a sentence, how they are used related to other words, I mean their surrounding words. So just read the paragraph and see how the words are exactly used in the context. And moreover here, picture it. So here we have got a picture here. So which of the words is studied in this lesson is suggested by the picture? Of course, we have studied the 12 words above. So one of the word is actually matching this. See, this is a person and he is coming here, and then here it is a clock, and then this person is doing something here, right? So you will see what exactly the person is doing or who he Ace. So this is actually, you're looking at the picture and then you're guessing what word or which word you have studied is matching this person. And again here, so you have got some tasks to do. Specifically here, task number 1 is fill in the blanks. Again, you have got 12 blank spaces, right? So ranging from number 1 to 12. So each sentence has one blank space. Then you are employing a correct word here, specifically the words that you have studied above. So here, so from number 1 up to number 12, please fill in the blank spaces. And then here, choose the correct words. So here, you have been given the words here, right? So you're simply here, the direction says circle the word in parentheses that best fits the sense of the sentence. So this is a sentence, 2 words are given to you, right? So the one you think is actually fitting the best, you're circling that word. For example, number 1, many of today's popular or comprehensive songs, right, will become tomorrow's golden oldies. So here, so comprehensive may not be used. Popular is actually best fitting here. So for that reason, you are just circling the word popular. And then coming here is spotlight on, which is giving more details about some particular word. So here defect. If you look at the etymology of the word defect, you will get lots of information as well as the piece of information given you here. And then here, word review number 1. So the instruction says, in the first 6 lessons, you were taught 72 important words. The following exercise will test how you will learn some of those words. How have you learned, or how well you have learned some of those words. C, this is in fact word review number 1, which is starting from unit 1 up to the current unit that we are studying. So C, if you can recall the words that we have already studied. In C, if you have learned the words that we have already studied. And then here also, this is another exercise. B, here you have got opposites. You are just looking for the antonyms of the words. In column 1 are 10 words taught in lesson 1 to 6. Match them correctly with your opposite meaning. So which you will find in column 2 here. For example, we have approach. We already studied that approach means to come near. Now you look for that, so it means to go far. Maybe you can find, for example, the exact word which is quite opposite this, right? So here when we have number 1, approach means to come near. So probably if you look at the words like unseen, felt, hated, dealt, dry, be seen, leaf. So this leaf, because leaf is going far, right? So this can be the antonym for approach. So you can do the same thing, or you can for example apply the same rule to the next or to the rest of these words. And then here again, you have got C. Which of the vocabulary choices in parentheses fits based in these newspaper headlines? So for example, here you have got sailors sinking ship. So C, this is actually a newspaper headline. And then C, we have got defraud, circulate, abandon, or devise. Look which word is actually fitting in order to complete or fill in or fill out this blank space, right? Sailors. So here, defraud a sinking ship, or for example, circulate a sinking ship, or abandon sinking ship, or devise. So whichever you think is the best, just circle that one. And then come to part D. From the list of words below, choose the word that means. Okay, choose from the list of words below. Choose the word that means. So you have got many words here, but down you have got some sentences, right? So suppose that these are the definition of the above words. So the words are deceive, thara, villain, client, prop, predation, evade, assemble, dense. And then we have got theory, abandon, descent, circulate, predict, tact, persuade, comprehensive, talent, devise, conceal, inhabit, eliminate, majority, defraud, data, gallant, hardship, wholesale, recline, and then tempt. So here you have got some definitions here. For example, in large amount as well as less costly. So what word is actually corresponding to this definition number 1? So we studied, for example, it was wholesale, right? So wholesale is basically matching with number 1. Then you can go for number 2, and then for maybe number 3, number 10, up to number 10. So do all the exercises. In here, letter of complaint. The following business letter uses 10 words that appeared in lesson 1 to 6. Fill in the blanks with those words selected from the group below. So here again you have got some words here, right? And you have got 2 letters at least here. Now, so just employ or supply the blank spaces with the particular words given above, right? So here you have got some numbers. So up to number 10, you need totally 10 words here to actually supply or fill in these blank spaces using these words have been given you from the list. And then words that do double duty. So here we may have some words that they have double function or dual function. Some of the words in this book can be used as different parts of a speech. The sample sentence for the word gallant shows it to be an adjective, a word that describes a noun or pronoun. For example, we may have gallant oath, which means brave oath, or gallant knight, and then it is so gallant, right? So actually, here gallant is used as an adjective. Here also is used as an adjective, but in different position. So this is the concept of this gallant is used attributively, predicatively. In this the 2 first gallants are used basically attributively. Adjectives used before noun are used or are said to be attributive, and adjectives used after linking verb are said to be predicative. So however, gallant can be used as noun when we say the gallant, right? This is very common in English. Sometimes we can use adjectives as noun. For example, we can say the poor. Poor itself is functioning as an adjective, but when we say the poor, means that all people or those people who are poor. The rich. Rich is adjective. When we are using that, so it changes into noun. So the same case applies to the word gallant. Gallant is an adjective. When we say the gallant, means a brave person. Okay, the gallant dressed in his finery approached the queen. The following words from lesson 1 to 6 are capable of serving as more than one part of a speech. Yes, these are really very important. You have to memorize that these words actually play double role, where they have double function. For example, abandon, it can be as verb or it can be as noun. So abandon means to leave or quit. Also abandon means leaving as a noun. Hardship is an adjective and noun, and then vigor, noun, verb, annual, noun, adjective, and then blend, noun, verb, and moreover we have got burden, noun, verb, and then debate. So all these words that we actually notice or observe here or consider them here, they have double functions: noun, verb, maybe adjective, and noun. So here, make up 2 sentences for each of the above words. So be realistic and be honest, right? So you have to obey the instructions. So whatever is requested or whatever is expected, so you have to do them. Showing how it could be used. Showing how it could be used as 2 different parts of a speech. So you're providing 2 examples for each word. One is, for example, is used the verb form of abandon, and so in another sentence the noun form of the word abandon is used. For example, you have been given here an example sentence or example sentences. After I wasted 2 months, I had to abandon the project. So this abandon is used as a verb. But here at the party, it danced with reckless abandon. So here again, abandon is functioning as a noun. But you have to closely check its meaning in your dictionary. So how, for example, their singular and plural with their verb form and their adjective form or noun form are different. So our vocabulary, we put an end to our vocabulary here. So now we move on to our forum 3. So we come to our forum 3, which is page 24. Last time we stopped here, and I hope you have worked and you have done your tasks. So this is number 4, listening practice. Again, we would like to get preparation for listening, as you are already familiar with the techniques, with the mechanisms, with the ways that we were doing actually listening. Here again, we have seen some pictures here, or we see some pictures here. So these are people, maybe they are like just looking at their smart mobile phones or whatever. But this person is just looking on her computer screen. But anyway, here, part A, preparing to listen. You are going to listen to a radio commentary about the internet and personal relationships. So here, commentary means report. Radio commentary means radio report. And you know, we may have some reporters on the street that they are asking people maybe, or maybe they are observing, and then they are providing, for example, reports for news. So this is the same, but this is radio commentary. So the radio commentary is particularly about internet and personal relationship. So before you listen, discuss the questions below with the partner, right? So this is because this is kind of preliminary step or kind of preliminary step. So before listening, you have to actually read these questions and think how you can answer to these questions. So how do you think computers and the internet can improve relationship between people, specifically friends, family members, neighbors, and coworkers? Right. So maybe one notion or one opinion is this, that okay, using internet is actually improving our relationship. Right. But maybe another opinion is quite vice versa or quite opposite. So when people are busy with the internet, so people are less prone to or less interested in establishing relationship. Right. And even suppose that you might have seen it in real life situation that two or three people sitting together in a room, and when they have, for example, their smart mobile phone connected to internet, and every person is busy, so they are like not very much interested to talk with each other. So this is one thing. And number two, how do you think the internet can impact relationship in a negative way? Right. So that is the idea that if we get access to the internet, and then how it impact our real life situation, for example, how it really impacts our relationship. So its effect is definitely some kind of negative effect, in the sense that when we have internet, for example, nighttime, we spend a lot of hours like just working, or not really working, just spending our time or wasting our time, right? So these are the two questions, that be realistic and honest. So read the first question and then provide your opinion, or provide answers according to your opinion or according to your worldview or perspective. And then come to number two. So there are also some facts or some realities that they are related to our social life and our real life thing. So, what negative impacts of using internet can you feel, or have you noticed? And also, you can discuss those things. Maybe you do not have any partner, but you can discuss these things to yourself. So now, coming to part B, focus on the listening. Listen for main ideas. That is already clear how we are listening to main ideas. But anyway, here, when you listen to a program or any other kind of presentation here means that what is said to you. Don't expect to grasp every piece of information the first time you listen. All right. If, for example, you are listening to native speakers, if you're listening, for example, to a radio program, or if you are watching, for example, a movie program, or to any other, for example, non-native speakers, but anyway, it is not really essential for you to actually get every piece of information for the first time. It is really difficult. So if you are actually focusing on every individual word, you may miss, or you may, for example, you may not be familiar with some of the words, but if you focus there, then you will miss, for example, the rest of the text or the rest of the presentation. So it really affects you negatively. Instead, whenever possible, use the first lesson to get the gist or main ideas right. Try to provide the overall picture of that particular listening part, right? You do not need to actually know every individual word. So you try to get the main idea or general idea of what that particular conversation, what that particular listening was about. So that is the technique. So here we have got number one. Here are some comments from language learners describing the ways they identify main ideas. Right, here some people that they have already worked on their listening part, or these people have already got enough experiences in the area of how to listen. add a comment of your own and then discuss the comments with the partner. So for sure, you also have got some kind of, for example, comment. And I know because you're also listening to, for example, audio specifically designed for Open Forum 3, and you might have some experiences of your own. You can also share your experience or write your experience down just in front of number 4. But from number one to number 4, which are 3 items, we will look at them, how other non-native speakers that they have really been interested in what they have been performing listening, so what they have done and what have really been their experiences in these particular areas. I find the main idea is often the first point in a paragraph. So one person says that, okay, when we are listening to, for example, native speakers or any other speakers, main idea is basically located or situated in somewhere in the very initial part of a paragraph or the first part of a paragraph. So this is one experience. I mean, this is good. For example, when you're listening, just be very attentive and cautious, specifically when a person starts a paragraph. Look for the main idea in the very first or initial part of these paragraphs. And then the second person is also saying that main ideas are stated in broad terms and then followed by details or examples. Yes, this is another experience. So another person says that general or main ideas are basically expressed in a very general manner or in broad terms. So no details is what details are actually seen there. Then later on, so the speakers are presenting lots of other details about the same thing. So this is another thing or another experience that another person is sharing it with us. Number 3, often main ideas are repeated more than once. So another person says that, okay, main ideas are usually of the main concern or the core ideas that the speakers are trying to convey or deliver to their audiences or to their listeners. Now, when they are expressing the main idea, so they do not express or deliver it once, so they return to main ideas many times. So one thing is, we can say that one way to realize the main idea in a paragraph or text is the speaker returns to main idea many times or frequently. So now number 4 is your comment. Make sure that you are also writing your comment here as these 3 people have done above. So now here, read the statements below, then listen to the radio program about the internet and relationship. After you listen, check the 4 main ideas that are presented. All these ideas are mentioned, but only 4 of them are main ideas. See, you are already equipped with the audios, right? But before listening to the audio designed for Open Forum 3 that I have already shared, so what you do is you just go through these details or these ideas. So these ideas, I mean the entire ideas are not the main ideas. Among these ideas, 4 of them are the main ideas or the core ideas or the real themes on which the speaker is talking or speakers are talking. So try to actually single out or individuate 4 of them that seem to you, for example, the main ideas or the most important thing or the core ideas. So first, you have to read all these ideas. So here, the internet encourages more frequent contact with friends and family than the phone, right? So this is one reality that maybe some of the people say that, okay, when you are connected to the internet, then you are encouraged or persuaded to actually frequently contact your friends. So maybe sometimes for the first time when we are experiencing internet, maybe this is very common because, and even you might have experienced that in your real life that once your friends, for example, sound or seem online on Messenger or on WhatsApp, you are simply dropping a message without any purpose. And next, families often use the internet to address serious matters. Okay, this is another thing. And then people who are disabled or housebound. See, this is not husband, right? Husband is different. This is housebound. People who are actually bound at home, they're not going out, can develop cyber relationship and feel less isolated. So cyber means virtual relationship, right? روابط مجازی. People cannot really get to know someone online, and then next, children can be put in dangerous situation as a result of online activity. Excessive use of internet can have negative effects. People are less polite online. The internet can help us build relationship, but it can also lead to isolation. One way, because if the person is talking about the internet, if the person is actually talking about the effect of internet or the relationship between and internet and relationship, then it is very easy actually to sort out or to individuate or single out four of them as core ideas. For example, down here we may have like families often use internet to address serious matters, or people who are disabled, where husband can develop cyber friends, or people cannot really get to know someone online. So these are like you can actually prioritize uh, I mean, your points on the basis of how closely you can connect them to internet and to relationship. Those which seem less relevant and less connected to your title, you can say that okay, these are not, for example, the main ideas or major points or core points to be included. So coming to yeah, once you are done with reading this question, you can play your audio, and then audio will help you a lot, and then you can sort out the four of the core or main ideas together. So here again, you come to part C. Again, you're listening to audio. Listen for more details. Read the questions and answer as many as you can. Right? You are actually reading all these questions, but this time your focus is on providing details. Right? Then listen again and complete your responses. Compare answers with a partner. Suppose that you have already listened. Assume that or imagine that you have already listened to the audio above. So there you have just provided a kind of general answer to four main ideas or to four questions, suppose. But down here you have got a lot of questions. It means that you should have listened or you should have grasped a lot of details. So they should have enabled you to provide answers to all these questions. So what it means is you should have focused on details. So you start with question number one. How can internet help build relationships with friends and family? So here you should have listened to, for example, the audio cautiously and very scrupulously and very carefully. And then you should have listened to that exact piece of information which is able to answer to this question. Number two, what benefits does the internet offer to those who are disabled or housebound? So again, for example, radio commentary also provided some information about the disabled or housebound people. Three, what are some advantages of internet dating over face-to-face meetings? So here it is basically focused on internet dating. And number four, what are some of the negative aspects of meeting people online? So again, the radio commentary has provided you enough or sufficient information about this aspect as well. In number five, what should parents do to protect children from online predators? Sorry, predators, yes. Predators means hunters. And then number six, why is it easier to be rude online than in face-to-face meetings? So see, you have got 6 questions here, right? You have already listened to the audio. Try to provide answers to as many questions as you can. But in case you can't, again, you listen to the audio and frequently and then provide answers or sufficient answers to these questions, appropriate answers. So here, working out unknown vocabulary. Right now, suppose that we have heard or we have listened to some vocabularies that we didn't know actually, but how can we work out or understand those unknown vocabulary? Work with a partner. Listen to the extracts from the radio program. Listen for the words and expressions in italics. Then choose the correct meaning for each word or expressions. So number one, you have listened to the audio, and in some part of the audio, we heard the word cyber. So cyber means probably what? Related to computers or internet or the internet or new. So it clearly means one of them, right? But cyber, we have cyber friends, cyber relationship, which means virtual. So is crucially A, right? So number two, pose. Even in Persian, we say that okay, pose naku, right? We're saying that do not pose. So posing as probably means pretending to be someone or something, or meeting someone. So whichever is correct, then you're simply circling it. Monitor probably means ignore or watch or check carefully. So that is clear. Prevalent probably means very rare or very common. If something is prevalent, so probably it is very what? Rare or common. So it should be common. Now, thinking and speaking, work in a small group and discuss one of the following questions, right? Now, because you do not have any partner, so probably if you have a partner at home, that is another case, or that is a different case, but generally you do not have any. But the idea is, in order to have a cyber partner, it is good to actually act out or play the roles of two people, switch the roles, right? So suppose once you're partner A and next you're partner B, so you're talking that way. Now, number one, for what purposes do you use the internet? List as many purposes you can think of, right? So even you realistically think that, okay, why are you using internet? So for you, one purpose is actually to learn, right? So as we're doing right now, but you could have lots of other purposes. Just list them down, all right, or write them down. And number two, is information on the internet trustworthy? Sometimes when you are retrieving or receiving or getting information from the internet, is it really trustworthy or authentic, valid, or reliable to you? So maybe yes or no, that is up to you. Explain your answer. Three, in what new ways do you think the internet will be used in the future? Right. So far we are using internet in this particular ways. For example, we're chatting, we're calling, so whatever. But can you think of your future? I mean, if you have a very critical thought, so can you anticipate or predict the future? So if you can, if you have any opinions or ideas, so try to actually express. So, and even the main point here is, or the main thing here is to actually talk about something, even if you do not have any idea or ideas about the future use of technology and internet. But it is good to engage yourself in talking. So here, number five, pronunciation, voiced and voiceless consonants. Wow, we already discussed voiced and voiceless in our linguistics, right? So again, let's have a flashback. We say that voice sounds are those when we are actually pronouncing, we're articulating them. Our vocal cords produce a lot of vibration. Right. In voiceless are those consonant sounds while producing or articulating them, there is little vibration in our vocal cords. So that is the distinction between the two. That is what we have already studied. Now here, some consonants in English are voiced and others are voiceless. Exactly. We are familiar, right? When we pronounce voiced consonants like the sound za, wa, ba, da, ga, and ya, our vocal cords vibrate. That is what we discussed, right? For example, when saying the word love, the vocal cords vibrate when we make the consonants of va, and this creates a buzzing sound. Exactly. So when we say v, so we feel a kind of vibration, a kind of buzzing sound. Next, our vocal cords do not vibrate when we pronounce voiceless sounds. This is not very good to say actually. If you remember, even while I was teaching you your linguistics, so I told you you should never say that when we are producing consonant sounds there is no vibration at all. But the level of vibration or the rate of vibration is low or little, right? So even if when we are saying sa, we may feel vibration in our vocal cords, right? So in order to make sure, just put your fingers on your throat, right? When you say sa, fa, we do feel vibration. But if we are comparing the amount of vibration produced in the production of sa with the amount of vibration produced in the production of za, So they are different. So it means that while we are producing voiced sounds, our vocal cords produces more vibration. When we are producing voiceless sounds, so our vocal cord produces lateral vibration. So that is the distinction between the two categories. Hearing the difference between voiced and voiceless consonants can help you understand some words more accurately. Exactly. So here you have got an audio, just listen to the audio and then see. So, but before listening to the audio, try to pronounce yourself. Listen and repeat the following words. Notice how the last consonant in each word is voiced. We have save, raise, live, or sorry, it could be live or live, both way it can be pronounced. Lave, plays, lose, have. Now coming to number two, listen and repeat these words. Notice how the last consonants in each word is voiceless. So we have got save, raise, live, place, lose, half. These are actually words ended or ending in voiceless sounds. Now coming to number three, work with a partner. Practice saying the following sentences. So we have got some sentences here. Pay attention to the ending of words, right? So the last sound in each word, try to pronounce them properly and try to be able to actually distinguish between voiced and voiceless ending in each word. Then coming to number six, speaking skills, reflecting on the speaking. So here, think about your progress. Okay, so since last year, suppose that you should be able actually to know how much progress you have made. And you should be able to actually diagnose or to understand your strength. And also you should be able to, or you should have been able to actually to have known your needs and to have known the requirements of your English speaking, right? So suppose that you say that, okay, I have made lots of progress in this area, for example grammar, pronunciation, and many other areas, and my strength, or you can say my strength is this, that I can speak English fluently. Then what are your needs? So probably you have problem in spelling, right? So that is your need. So once your needs are identified, then work on your need, right? So in order to make much more progress in the future. So this can help you identify next steps to focus on to improve your speaking skills. So you should be able to actually measure your progress and then know your strength and also identify your future needs. So these are the three things that you have to pay attention to. So number one, look at these statements from language learners commenting on their experiences with this speaking, then add a comment of your own, right? So here, four people actually express their experiences on their spoken language. So you may use, or you may even have the same, for example, comments, but anyway, you have to add something of your own down here next to number five. So number two, I can usually state a point clearly, right? If you have some point, you can express it clearly. But when I provide details or defend my position, I have difficulty, right? If you would like to, so it means that you have problem with providing details. So you can express that broad term or that broad area, but is really difficult for you to provide details on your position. It means on your stance that you take. Number three, I need more time to process my ideas than other students. Right. So you listen or you look at the other students that they are speaking very fluently and they do not make any pause or they do not hesitate at all. So they speak continuously. But you, it is very difficult for you actually to process and to recall those words that you really need, and then it's really difficult for you to answer on time to the students. So sometimes when I'm ready to speak, the discussion has moved on to another topic, right? So you are expected actually to speak now, but you can memorize, sorry, you can recall words, for example, after 2 minutes. So by that time, definitely the topic shifts from one position to another position, well, from one step or phase to another step or phase. And then we have got number four, I don't like expressing my opinion, right? So good. Some people actually, they don't like to express their opinions at all. So these people are phenomenal people. Coming to number 5, your comment. So you have to write, for example, your problem or your status here. Then down here, speaking practice. Work in small groups, which means that because there is not any group, it means that you yourself should talk, right, or work. Or you yourself should work alone. Discuss the comments in section 6 above and compare your personal experiences and challenges with speaking, right? You can compare your challenges, your problems, your experiences with the 4 people expressed their opinions above. What are the most common challenges in your group? Okay, not really in your group because there is not any group. Then what is your challenge, right? What is the most or the commonest challenge that you have? Number 2, brainstorm ways to address the challenges expressed by the group. Right. So when you have expressed your challenges or the difficulties that you have faced while speaking English or practicing English, then you can, for example, look at different dimensions of that as to employ the mechanism of brainstorming. And then we have got number 8, taking skills further. So develop your skills. Talk with people outside of class. It means that you do not need to actually talk to your classmates, right? But for the time being, because your classmates are not with you, then you can actually talk with your classmates, right? So talk with people outside of class who have successfully learned another language. Ask what challenges they faced and how they overcame those difficulties. This is good if you are actually consulting with other people who have experiences in the area of learning any other languages. So they may help you if you are seeking, for example, help or contribution. How do their experiences compare with yours? And what strategies did they use that you might like to try? So of course they may, for example, they may details about their experiences, about the strategies they used. So if you liked, then you can, for example, apply the same strategies or mechanism that they were doing. And here, report your findings in the next class. So here, www for additional listening practice on the topic of the internet and relationship, go to Open Forum website, www. So that is. So we start as, okay, no, we put an end here. We stop at chapter 4. We do not start from chapter 4. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Wish you all the best. See you next time. Bye-bye.